What's going on, guys? My name is Trevor. Welcome to the channel. Blue Beetle, the brand new DC movie, hits theaters this weekend, making it the last movie of the DCEU or the first movie of the DCU. Who really knows at this point? But nonetheless, it's a brand new DC Studios movie, and I had some expectations for it. I'm very unfamiliar with this character, but I was excited for it. I have not seen Cobra Kai, so I'm unfamiliar with Joel Maridueña, so lots in this movie, kind of big question mark. Will I enjoy it? Will I like it? And safe to say, I have some thoughts, and unfortunately, they're not all that great. But before I give you guys my thoughts on this movie, let me know down below in the comment section your thoughts on Blue Beetle and what's your favorite DCEU movie if this is a part of it. What is your favorite? Is it your favorite? Let me know. So heading into this one again, I was kind of blind. I watched the trailers. The trailer sold me. It looked like a fun movie. It definitely looked a little bit basic. I don't think it ever showed like a glimpse of the villain throughout the trailers. That generally means you're going to have a very generic and basic villain. So I went in pretty blind. Joel Maridueña is a star, and this guy, he has the look, he has the vibe, he has the charisma. I need to go watch Cobra Kai. That's what I kept saying to myself after I got out of this movie, is that I need to go watch Cobra Kai and go see this guy because he kills it as Jaime Reyes, and the movie works its best when it focuses on the Reyes family, and it does for the most part. It really hits on all their family attributes. Some of the family members can be a little bit annoying, a little bit overbearing, but some of them, like George Lopez, are very, very funny. George Lopez was in this movie way more than I thought he was going to be, and at times I thought he was the best part of the movie, but also at times I thought he was the worst part of the movie. There were several jokes in there that did not land at all, but there was lots of jokes in there that did land. So George Lopez was utilized a lot, and sometimes worked to its like advantage, and then other times it really worked to its disadvantage, trying to crack a joke in the middle of a battle. Not the time at all. For an origin story about Blue Beetle, I thought this was a very good origin story, really kind of showing how this kid really got the scarab inside of him, what happened. George Lopez said it crawled up his ass. They hit on that joke throughout, and honestly, it hit every time. So Jaime Reyes is this normal kid who went out to school. He wants to kind of go to grad school, comes back home and finds out that his family has been struggling the entire time he's been away at college, so it's time to join the workforce and really help out his family. But then he becomes this superhero, and him having to balance that with how close his whole family is, it's absolutely hilarious. And again, that family dynamic, when it's at the forefront of this film, is when 1000% the movie is great. Where the movie's not great is like they really went up and they had like a template on the wall, and they said, can we use this? And it was just a fill-in-the-blank template, because that's how cliche and basic this movie is. And that's the only thing. I was literally rolling my eyes at how cliche and basic, beat for beat, plot point by plot point, you know exactly where this movie's going to go. And at times, that's fine. But this movie was literally the most generic thing I've ever seen in my life. The script itself was fine. The acting from a lot of the supporting cast wasn't all that great. It was literally, they just kind of filled in the blanks, and that's literally what it felt like. It's like, okay, we're gonna have a love in there. The love's gonna get pulled away from them. They're gonna come back together, so we're gonna fill that blank in there. The villain's gonna be the most generic and basic villain ever, and they are gonna say things like, it's for the greater good. Stuff like that, I just couldn't let go in this movie, and it really took me out of it. And then when you're looking at this generic, basic, cliche story, I started looking at, there's like no action for almost like the first hour of this movie. There's a little bit of action, then there's a huge gap, then there's a little bit more of action, then there's another huge gap, and then there's a good end battle scene. So from the basicness and this is how generic the story was to how limited action there was, it can be a very slow-paced movie, and that's where my disappointment came from. I wanted something a little bit fresh and new for a DC origin story, especially this movie. They're going to be starting off the DCU. We're really going to be following Joel Maridueña's character of Jaime Reyes, aka Blue Beetle, throughout the rest of this. You just want not such a boring story. But all that aside, that's where my disappointment came from. I still had fun with this movie. It was fun, but basic. But for DC itself, it's kind of just another big question mark as where we're truly going. But let's give this movie its flowers. It is fun. It does really hit well, again, on those family attributes. And when they have the action is done really well. It's badass. It's cool. He's having a conversation with the Scarab. I don't know how to say the Scarab's name, but like he is having a conversation with them, and he's not a killer, and they really hit on that. And the one thing I think I appreciated most throughout this movie was the movie's score. The score, like when Blue Beetle's flying or when he's fighting, they have this beat, and the score just kind of drops, and it's literally like a mic drop. Like, it was so immersive. I was like, whoa, I'm kind of gassed up right now. At the end of the day, I did not hate this movie. I did not love this movie. It was kind of just like a 3 out of 5, a 6 out of 10. A movie I had higher hopes for that left me ultimately just a little bit disappointed with how cliche and basic it was. But at the end of the day, when it focuses on the family like a majority of the movie does, probably half the movie it does, it works to its advantage. George Lopez is hilarious, and Zola Maridueña is absolutely fantastic as Jaime Reyes in Blue Beetle. It's a 3 out of 5 for me. Nothing more, nothing less. I wanted a 4.25 out of 5. Nothing like a best comic movie of the year, but I just wanted a little bit more than we got. At the end of the day, I still had fun. It was just basic. Let me know your thoughts on Blue Beetle down below in the comment section. Are you with me? Do you understand where I'm coming from? Maybe not. That's totally okay. Hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell. Come back later this weekend for more DC content. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.